Hi, Rex Beanland here. Today I want to take a look at how to create exciting and luminous washes in watercolor. First, let's take a look at the photo. It's a fabulous photo. Very interesting shapes, great perspective, lots of action. Just a lovely photo. If we look closely at the shadow, it's basically a mid-value blue-gray. So first of all, let's paint it the way we see it and see what that looks like. Just before we begin, I just want to explain one thing. In order to have a luminous wash, we need the wash to be as wet as possible and to stay wet until we're ready to let the entire wash dry. So we need lots of water. A way to accomplish that is, instead of painting with the tip of the brush, push the brush into the paper and paint with the belly. Then we get a maximum amount of water. Okay, let's start the painting. Okay, I mixed up a big puddle of kind of a blue-gray, and I'm now painting the shadow. Because this particular shape has so many little shapes within it and parts I'm cutting around, I am using the tip more than I would recommend. But as soon as I can get to these big spaces, I'm pushing the belly of the brush in. And you can see what a lovely, luminous, or juicy wash that I'm getting. Now the characteristic of watercolor, while this wash is wet, it actually looks kind of interesting. You know, you see a little sparkle, a little value contrast, but when it dries, it becomes rather flat and boring. So let's try the shadow again, and this time, to make it more interesting, let's add some other colors. Have some color variety in the shadow. So I'm starting with some ultramarine blue, then this is some mineral violet, and finally a lovely green blue called peacock blue. Again, you use the belly of the brush, and while the wash is wet, it looks very interesting. But this time, after it dries, it's still interesting because of the color variety. Now, once you start using non-realistic colors, you pretty much can do what you want. So this time, you're going from that mineral violet to ultramarine blue, but let's choose a color, the third color that's unrelated to the rest, and let's try some red. In this case, some vermilion hue. And again, when the wash is wet, it looks very interesting, but when it dries, it's still interesting and exciting. Now, when you decide to use colors based on your intuition and you're not trying to be realistic, you'll see that the sky is the limit. So you can see how this progressively gets more and more interesting. So just to review, to create exciting and luminous washes, we need to use enough water. We need to keep the entire wash wet until we're ready to let the whole thing dry. And we need to have a variety of colors in the wash. So I hope you've gotten something out of this, and we look forward to seeing you next time.